The rural aspect, making accessibility to rural, what are the opportunities there with driverless?
I think they're enormous. Everybody says, hey, the driverless vehicles aren't going to work in rural areas. Rural America probably has a substantial number of mobility challenged individuals, okay, and where you really need to provide them with service. The difficulty now is that consider a family that has maybe 2 workers in a rural area and 1 car. What's the other person do? There's not even a bus. Maybe there's once a week bus to who knows what. And the ability to afford them mobility, even without ride sharing, because there isn't as much ride sharing opportunity because the demand is so much lower, but just the ability to dispatch a vehicle there, maybe they'll have to wait 15 minutes instead of 5 minutes or whatever, to be able to then get them to the doctor or to the job or out to a movie in the next town over or whatever. I think it's an enormous opportunity for rural mobility, for the mobility disadvantage in rural areas, for which there are many.
We talked about this, back to that form factor thing. You could conceivably start to mix things like freight and people, right, or goods.
Absolutely, and mix goods and deliver them some groceries or whatever at the same time, and so on, and those things, and you can do that, and it's just an enormous opportunity, and it hasn't been looked at seriously enough. Now, we've created a database at Princeton it's an artificial database, but of individual trips and trip makers throughout the country based on the 2010 census, which has people out there in rural areas, in the onesie-twosies, for which we have them making trips. And we're going to go see to what extent we can offer services and what kind of services they would need, assuming that they wanted to make those trips with the driverless vehicles. So I'm going to quantify the darn thing, but my gut feeling is that the numbers that are going to come out of there say that yes, it's not as economically efficient as doing it here in Daly City or in San Francisco, but in fact, compared to any other way of doing it, it is enormously more efficient, because otherwise you have to have somebody out there driving something. You've got to pay them the whole time and so on. The labor costs associated with that just makes it a non-starter, and I think there are just potentially enormous opportunities for rural mobility.
Well, it sounds like that is, and I look forward to hearing those results. And before we leave, I have to compliment you on your T-shirt.
I know. Fred Fishkin made up the shirts.
Nice, and we can listen each week at smartdriving.com.
Yes, and each week or so. I try to do it roughly once or every week or every 2 weeks.
Excellent. Well, Alan, thank you.
Okay, thank you.